will have waited for this. They are ready to see what Piglet can bring to the table.
This should be easy for elimination.
Oh, that's the Tibbers. You can't get out of that one alive. They're gonna keep going on Liquid here. That's the damage coming in.
This is a synergy issue.
Yeah.
Obviously, there is some divide because we don't really speak Korean.
That was not what Piglet wanted to have happen.
There was a lot of expectations on this team. Piglet, tremendous pressure to be a godlike AD carry.
Oh my god, takes down his replacement on the team.
Team Liquid announced that they would be benching Piglet. Keith would return.
Keith, their sub from week 1, he bagged 15 kills in 2
One hit
games.
from Dead. The bounce is not going to do it. Double kill for Keith. Make that another one. Big shoes to fill. And Keith McBrief, 6-1 and 11. Keith played out of his mind.
Protect the substitute AD carry. Let's do it. That's something that we don't see very often out of players on the LCS stage for the first time.
He's trying to focus down a Link. That was a headshot. Can he get one more? Peacemaker.
Keith is fed.
So you kind of have to ask, if Keith does well, is this going to be a permanent change?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Week 5 of the North American LCS Spring Split. We've got a packed house here in Los Angeles ready for a full day of action. And the fans, they are fired up, representing their teams. Team Solo Mid, you see there, some Team 8 fans as well. And of course, we've got Winter Fox walking to the stage with their new support, Imagine, and Coach Paragon. After their 2-0 finish last week, they will be facing off against Team Liquid. You see Phoenix here in the front, and Keith, who will be stepping in once again. Hello, everyone. I'm James Patterson. Great to have you with us. Filling out the analyst desk for our first 3 games are Aiden Zyrene Moon and David Freak Turley. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Good day. Actually, it's noon. Good noon to you.
Yeah, right? That's like such an awkward time. I don't ever know how
You say good noon.
Just good noon.
Good noon.
Good noon. Well, earlier this week, there was news that a few teams would be changing up the roster. I think the top of everyone's mind, we've got Keith stepping in for Piglet's spot on Team Liquid.
Yeah, here's the crazy thing is Keith did actually incredibly well in week 1. There's so much hype on him to perform. Liquid, obviously, they benched Piglet. He was not performing well with the team, partially emotionally, partially actual performance-wise. There's actually a great video that Team Liquid themselves put out about their troubles with Piglet overall. Thing is, we're halfway through the season at this point, or halfway through the split. You have to fix your issues really soon and make that run towards playoffs, and it's a very tight race the Liquid are in.
Yeah, and you have to remember, even though Keith had a very high KDA, he was against 2 squads that were also fielding substitutes at the time. This week, Keith is immediately going to be tested against the resurgent Winter Fox and TSM. This is the true gauntlet for the man behind the hashtag, and we're going to see if Latucan truly has arrived.
Well, Coast have also announced a roster change with ManCloud taking over the mid lane for Jezus.
Yeah, fans will remember ManCloud from Vulcan and then later XDG, but after the team lost their spot in the 2014 Summer Promotion Tournament, ManCloud has been playing in Challenger, and we've seen a little bit of him, but he does not look like his old self, where he set the all-time kill lead for a split.
Yeah.
That is not the ManCloud that we're seeing mostly in his recent performances, but the team thinks that he's going to bring a new variant to the mid lane and an aggressive style so that they can possibly leverage the game from there.
Yeah, we'll see if he does well, because he's been more like ManFog than ManCloud.
Yeah.
Well, of course, finally we have Winter Fox, who we're finally seeing their entire roster come to fruition here with Imagine and Paragon stepping in at the coaching role.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see, because Winter Fox actually started doing pretty well with Glebe. They're in a big tie for 3rd place right here. They've got an equal score line. And it's really weird. I actually ran into Altec. I asked him about this, and he's like, well, you know, it's tough. He just came in recently. He's a little bit jet lagged still. He's only been here 5 days. But this was the lineup they scrimmed with for a month in Korea. So if they relearned all those skills, they should be okay. But you're halfway through the season. It was working. Now are you shaking it up too much?
I spoke to them as well. They did seem confident bringing him in there. They have a lot of faith in his individual talents as a player. Now, Winter Fox were able to move themselves up in the standings to a 5-way tie for 3rd place, as Freak had just mentioned. Team Solo Mid won sole possession of 1st place, which moves CLG into 2nd place. Sharing 8th place, we've got Team 8 and Dignitas, and then 2 games back, it's Coast in 10th. Now, we'll track how those changes with our 5 games today, starting with Team Liquid versus Winter Fox. Then Team 8 will take on Gravity, and we'll conclude the day with TSM versus Coast. Now, this week, there are a few players that we're going to be keeping an eye on, starting with Zion Spartan.
And I am such a big fan of Zion Spartan. Even his teacher calls him impressive. He's been a great pick for Counterlogic Gaming so far. He split pushes well. He team fights well. He's not just playing Jackson really, but his Sion and Rumble are on point. It's Golden Age Zion. That's how it is.
and I'll be watching Cloud9's high. The team has been a mixed bag this year with near-perfect games followed by upsets and everything in between. A big part of their return to dominance will hinge on high shot calling and if he can perform individually in the mid lane.
And then from Dignitas, we'll keep an eye on Gamsu. He has consistently been playing well, and with the team playing more aggressive overall, he may become a top lane bully.
As a mid laner, though, I want to look at, and it's Xiaowei Xiao from Team Impulse. This is a guy who was the reigning MVP from summer 2014. He went to Worlds with his old team LMQ, and he's looking really poor so far. He's not dealing with jungle pressure. He's getting solo killed in the mid lane. This is a player I did not expect to underperform.
And then lastly, we want to take a look at Altec. He had an outstanding week 4 and put up very impressive numbers, but he's pretty much the benefactor when his team is winning. But I'd love to see if he can have more of an impact in the early game and help his team secure those early leads. And this week, he also has the task of synergizing with a brand new support.
Yeah, that won't be easy, to say the least. Now, we want to get your thoughts on the subject of standout players. So we're asking, who's your midseason MVP and why? Send your thoughts to @LOLesports and use the hashtag LCS so we can find them in the series of interconnected tubes that is the internet. And now we're going to hand the reins over to the guys on the caster desk to get us into game 1.